A lot of people have been contacting me wanting to know what they can do to protect themselves, protect their family, keep their immune system strong. But hopefully I'll be here to answer any questions that you may have. And I've just devoted some of my time because this is what we've been preparing for 25 years, to teach people how to empower themselves, teach them how to keep their immune system strong, teach them how to keep their system detoxified. And, it's not the best of times right now with everything going on, but I've always said there's always a solution to every situation. Now, look at the worldwide events that have been happening, and yes, I was contacted by individuals that work in China. I've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that I haven't really been talking about. Been very involved with high-level officials, other individuals, trying to help them out, get everybody, try to figure out what's really going on. Which still a lot of people don't have answers for. But the best thing that you can do is just try to prepare yourself as much as possible. I'm not saying that in a fear-mongering standpoint, because we all know that we have lots of fear going on right now. I mean, things are closing. And believe it or not, a lot of the people that I've been talking to have been telling me for months, it's not the individual virus or harmful organism that we need to be worried about so much. It's the side effects that's going to happen. And the side effects meaning schools closing, shipping routes shut down, nobody flying, nobody going into restaurants, the economy, all of these different things that are the side effects of a pandemic. And we're starting to see that already, major events getting canceled. And so one of the things that brings the immune system down really, really fast is stress and fear and anxiety. We all have a self-healing mechanism, and we really are powerful. We really are powerful. So I spent some time to put together an immune strengthening guide that we're giving away for free. So I highly recommend you click the link below this video and get the immune strengthening guide. However, I'm going to be going over some of the things that I do. This is all of the research that I've found that works the best to not only improve your immune system and keep yourself very strong, but also to be able to fight any type of harmful organism that might come into your system. Now, I'm going to avoid saying any potential words that identify what's currently going on right now, because YouTube and different social media platforms are censoring, and they're taking down information, really good information actually, that people should really understand about what's going on. But everybody's in a different situation, and everybody's should evaluate their environment in which they live and the internal environment in their body. My number one thing when I talk about immune strength is looking at where does your immune system really work the best, or where does your immune system reside? And about 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. Now, I've been talking about gut health for ages and ages and ages, and just keeping your body clean and keeping your body healthy. My number one, I'm going to go over a lot of tips today, but the first place to start is always in your gut. A lot of stuff out there is getting sold out. I don't know how much time everybody's going to have before there's a lot of things sold out. We've got a lot of stock of our stuff. Probiotics. Probiotics are going to do a tremendous amount of good for anybody who wants to keep their immune system strong and keep their health strong right now. And even before we start talking about probiotics, now is the time for you to eat very, very, very healthy. Now is the time for you to avoid sugar, avoid gluten, avoid dairy, avoid eating too much, because the more that you're going to eat, the more energy it's going to take your body to digest food. And if you're having to digest food and use a lot of energy to digest food, then that's going to be taken away from your immune system and for you to produce immune cells. So try to eat as healthy as possible, raw food as much as possible, juicing as much as possible, anything that's going to have a high vibrational frequency, foods that are going to keep you healthy, and avoid all of the foods that are going to slow you down, that are going to be allergenic, that are going to be causing an immune response, and that are going to be taking lots of time and energy from your body to break down. And I would also throw meat into that as well, because meat is going to take a long time to digest. It can even take up to 72 hours sometimes to digest in your system. So look and pay attention to what you're putting in your mouth. And instead of eating 4 or 5 meals a day and keeping a lot of food in your digestive tract, what I'm doing right now and what a lot of the practitioners are teaching right now is to at least do intermittent fasting, to where you're fasting from 6 p.m. at night on water only till 11 a.m. in the morning on water only. And then you're eating a really good healthy meal and maybe a few snacks in that time period between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. every single day. Probiotics, whether you get them from us, whether you get them from the store, wherever you get them from, in an emergency immune strengthening situation, I personally would always at least double, if not triple, if not quadruple the recommended amount. So if the recommended amount says 2 capsules once a day, I would probably be doing 2 capsules 3 times a day. Probably quadruple the amount on the probiotics. The next thing I would like to talk about is, what are you drinking during the day? This is very important. So we talked about food, now let's talk about drinking. In these times that we're in right now, I would recommend getting off of any alcohol, anything that you're drinking that can reduce your immune system. And that means alcohol, maybe reduce your coffee, any energy drinks, any liquids that you're putting in, especially colas, diet drinks, any of that stuff, you should eliminate that. Right now is a good time to focus on your body and keeping your body strong. And the strongest it's going to be is if you're just drinking water. And one of my recommendations actually is organic apple cider vinegar. I don't know if you can still get certified organic apple cider vinegar. Hopefully you can. You might be able to order it online. Putting a couple capfuls of that in some pure, clean water. Hopefully you have a water filtration system, or at least a pitcher or something, so you're not having to drink the tap water from the city municipal system. But drinking as much pure, clean water as you can will not only help flush your system out, but it'll help provide hydration to your cells. And when you have hydration and you have lots of energy inside your system, your body starts becoming stronger and stronger. So avoid all of the other liquids that you're drinking all the time. Focus on drinking pure, clean water. You can add some organic apple cider vinegar into that as well. Talking about the intestinal lining again, you want to keep your intestines clean so your probiotics can thrive. And what I use is oxy powder. I mean, oxy powder is the only thing that's going to provide oxygen, which is going to be a very good thing. And it's also going to keep your intestines clean and healthy and functioning at a high capacity. I also, in my kit, my immune kit, have oregano oil. I've been using oregano oil for years and years and years. It's one of my favorite solutions to attack harmful organisms. have to be real careful with what I say here. It is just absolutely amazing. In my experience, it's stronger and more powerful than many different things out there. I'm pretty sure you can still get some oregano oil. What I do is I usually take about 18 drops. I know that sounds like a lot, but 18 drops 3 times a day. And it's best to take oregano oil with food because it can be very powerful, very hot, and it can upset your stomach. So I recommend taking that, and then not taking the oregano oil right in your mouth, by the way, because it's very spicy and hot. What I do is I put it inside of a capsule. So I'll undo the capsule, drop the oregano oil in there, put the capsule on, and then I'll take it. And then usually eat a little bit of something, maybe a couple bites of an apple or something like that to just to fill my stomach. So oregano oil is definitely a must to have in any immune strengthening program that you're on. And in a case of an emergency, let's say that you start feeling ill, you know, I've gone up to 6, 7, 8, 9 capsules a day. Now I rarely ever get sick. But the way, it doesn't matter how healthy you are, if there's something that you've never been exposed to, some sort of weird organism that you need to develop immunity to, you might get sick. Everybody's different. Everybody has different genetic codes to as how their body's going to react. Again, I'd like to mention our free immune strengthening guide. Make sure you click the link at the bottom of this video and sign up for it. It goes over a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about. And not only that, I mean, share it with your friends and family. I mean, you don't have to get, you know, I talk about the products I use and the ones that I've researched. And I'm not trying to sell you on any of our products or anything like that. It doesn't matter if you buy our products or you buy somebody else's products. Just get them and put them in your emergency kit. Make sure you're stocked up. Make sure your family members are stocked up. And that way you have it. This is nothing more than my 25 years of research that I'm sharing with you and what I do and what my family does. So we can take some questions now. If some of you guys have some questions that you'd like to ask me, and then I can continue going on with some of the other things that I recommend. I've got a few of my staff here with me that are helping me out, and they're going to be kind of monitoring the questions, and because I really want to not just so much tell you everything that I'm doing, but also be there for you. And maybe there's something or some way that I can help calm you down. I know we've been having questions. Well, I'll just start with this one. People have been asking, what can we do for hand sanitizer? I know some people are paying like $90 a bottle for hand sanitizer right now. If you have some essential oils, if you have some vinegar, some organic apple cider vinegar, you can make your own hand sanitizer. You can make your own hand sanitizer. Just take water, put a couple, like let's say 8 ounces of water, put a couple tablespoons of vinegar in there. If you cannot find the white vinegar, you can use the organic raw apple cider vinegar. If you have 3% hydrogen peroxide, which I would make sure also that if you have the ability to get hydrogen peroxide, go get as much hydrogen peroxide as you can. Because I'll talk a little bit later about a way that you can nebulize that. Some things that we've done and some research on in the past. But you can mix vinegar and water together. You can mix a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in there with the water and vinegar, and that's going to pretty much sanitize everything. And if you have some sodium bicarbonate, some baking soda, you might get a little bit of a reaction with the vinegar and water. You can even mix bicarbonate with water by itself, and that creates a very alkaline solution. And harmful organisms cannot survive in a very alkaline solution. Also, if you have some iodine by any chance, you can put a couple drops of iodine in the water, and you can use that as a sanitizer. Many different ways to make DIY hand sanitizer solutions, and you can even look online. There's plenty of different ways. Look, if you even just have salt, regular salt, you can make what's called a Sole solution, S-O-L-E. And that's where you just saturate, take a mason jar or whatever, it doesn't even matter. Fill it up with water, put tons of salt in it until the salt stops dissolving. Once the salt stops dissolving, you have what's called Sole solution. You can go online, type in Google, how do you make a Sole solution? That alone, you can use that as a hand sanitizer. So there's plenty of solutions out there of things you can do yourself that you don't necessarily have to rely on. Most of those hand sanitizers are toxic anyway. They have triclosan and a bunch of toxic chemicals in them. People are putting hand sanitizer on their hands and they're actually reducing their immune system because the immune system has to react to the toxic chemicals they're putting and slathering on themselves. Try not to panic, and as much as possible, try to keep yourself in a calm state. Okay. DJ, do we have any questions over there?
We got a question from Poppy Kaboom. They ask, what can I put in a diffuser or nebulizer to strengthen my lungs and immune system?
Okay, the question is, what about a nebulizer? What can I put in a nebulizer to strengthen my immune system? So I might as well just go into that conversation right now. I haven't looked online. I use an Omron, O-M-R-O-N, portable nebulizer. I'm not sure if you can still buy them or if they're available or not, but you should be able to find any type of a nebulizer. A nebulizer is nothing more than a device which will create a vapor that you can breathe into your lungs. I personally love the VapoZone, which is V-A-P-O-Z-O-N-E device. That is a must to keep around your house for any respiratory or any type of lung conditions. However, my favorite solution that I've always used in my nebulizer is colloidal silver. I'm not going to mention any brands, but you can, colloidal silver, the majority of it is going to work okay. I fill the nebulizer up with colloidal silver, and then I usually put 2 or 3 drops of regular 3% hydrogen peroxide in there as well. And the hydrogen peroxide actually creates the silver particles to become smaller. And then you turn it on, you breathe it into your lungs. Another thing you can do is just with aromatherapy. If you have an aromatherapy diffuser, you can use stuff like tea tree, frankincense. Those are my favorite, tea tree and frankincense, because those are broad spectrum. And they work really, really good. So with the VapoZone device, which I don't know if you'd be able to get that or order that on online right now, that was actually developed by Nikola Tesla, and it was sold in Sears Roebuck and Company in the 1930s or 40s or whatever, and then it was taken down. But that's actually using ozone and bubbling it through some oils and breathing in a compound called ozol. I'm not sure if anyone's going to have enough time to get that in time or to protect themselves, but that would be another option for respiratory. Another just a DIY thing that you can do is just get a pot like they used to do in the old days. Get a pot, put some salt in it, put it on the stove, put a towel over your head, put some essential oils in there, and then breathe in that vapor through your nose and then into your mouth a few times. And you can use the same essential oils. You can use tea tree. You can use any combination of essential oils. You can even use eucalyptus. You can use rose. I mean, whatever oils you have, lemon balm, stuff like that. So hopefully that answers your question. As far as diffusing, one other thing I would recommend, if you don't already have an air purification system in your home, try to get one. Try to get a HEPA or try to get one that produces ions, negative ions. I use the Rheem Halo system. That's the one I use that goes into the HVAC. It's manufactured by a company called RGF. Maybe you can find those online. They have a plug-in unit as well. But any type of air purification system you can get, even if it's a small one for one room, and you have to have everybody contained in one room, that is still going to help you out tremendously. Because a good air purification system, I could sneeze right here, and a good air purification system would kill any single thing within seconds, even if there was another person standing 6 feet away from me. Those negative ions, those hydroperoxides that are coming down in the air, would kill off any type of harmful organism before it got to the person next to me. All right, DJ, we have another question.
Yes.
Oh, somebody's made a comment about a Himalayan salt lamp. Those are great, actually. If you have Himalayan salt lamps, turn them on. The vapors that come out of them, those are really good as well.
Yes. Michelle asked, what are you eating to stay healthy? Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, what am I eating to stay healthy? I am just trying to eat the least amount of food that I can, and trying to eat, well, actually, I just finished a juice right here, a carrot juice. I'm trying to drink at least a couple juices a day and trying to eat as much live food as I can. Salads, nuts, and seeds, because lots of raw nuts and seeds keep me full. My diet, mostly 90% anyway, is raw nuts and seeds and salads and juice. I try to get at least one green juice in every single day. So just try to eat as healthy as possible. I mean, if things get to the point where there's no more food, I would say it's always better to be ahead of the game. It's always better to be prepared than not be prepared. If you have a farmhouse or you know somebody, you can get out of a big city and go stay out in the country somewhere for a while. Stock up on some canned foods. Worst case scenario, you just need to eat. You just need to eat whatever you have. How I would do that is just try not to eat too much. The least amount of food that you eat, the better. And I'm just drinking a lot of water right now and trying to stay calm. Hemp extract works really good for that. Neurofusion works really good for that. Try to reduce your stress, your anxiety levels, and just kind of take it day by day. All right. If you're just joining us and you haven't heard the first part of this, please make sure that you go and click the link and get the free copy of our immune strengthening guide that I put together over the last couple weeks. And I didn't just throw this thing together. I spent a lot of time on it and really looked at the last 20 years, all of our research. There are so many people out there coming out and putting out all these things and all these supplements and all this stuff out there. It's not to say that it won't work, but getting down to the basics of really how the body works, how the body strengthens its immune system, and more goes on avoiding the things that make your immune system work too hard, freeing up your immune system to do the things. So it's actually like, what are you not doing that you can be doing? All right, on another tip on the food scenario, I would highly recommend avoiding dairy products, and I mentioned this before, dairy products, meat products, and gluten. Of course, as much as possible, avoid any processed, cooked, all those, GMO foods, all of that. Try to eat as organic as possible. That might be a little bit difficult, but you can just try to do the best that you possibly can. All right, do we have another question? Somebody mentioned ozone. Ozone is amazing. If you have the ability to do anal insufflations, if you have an ozone generator, if you know a doctor you can go to that does ozone therapies, as well as vitamin C IV, that's great. Those are just added things. But what I'm talking about is what do I have right here at my house? Like, what do I have that can keep me safe? or what can I make out of the things that I have at my house that can keep me safe? What can I do? You know, if you live in an area like down south somewhere, is get as much sunlight as you can too. You know, sunlight is amazing. As a matter of fact, one of the things on my immune strengthening guide is vitamin D. You know, vitamin D is an immune staple. It's been used for a long time. So I personally recommend taking about, I'll go up to 20,000 IUs, 40,000 IUs, 60,000 IUs in a day. I mean, in an emergency situation, just, I've even taken up to 100,000 IUs in a day before. Or I've had individuals do that, back when we had our degenerative disease and cancer clinic. So vitamin D, check it off, put it on your list. It's amazing. And if you're taking a vitamin D and you're also able to get out in the sun actually heals you in many different ways. So utilize the things that you can that are already there for free, that you have around you and that you can have access to. All right, let's see if there's another question coming in. Somebody asked a question about coconut sugar. It's best, I'm not like super against coconut sugar. It's just, it depends on how it's refined. I mean, to me, the best sugar that you can ever eat is just eating fruit. That's just the natural sugar in there. It's the refined sugars that upset you. So just try to avoid sugar as much as possible. Okay, DJ, do you have another question?
Yes. Emily asked, what should I do if I feel like I'm coming down with something?
That's a great question. I mean, it's so many people they're in a state of fear that they're just automatically assuming that they're just so sensitive that one tiny thing, they say, oh, I think I'm coming down with something. I think I'm coming down with something. If you think you're coming down with something, then this is what I would do. I would just try to stay calm. I would evaluate my surroundings. I would get all of my immune stuff ready. If I needed to figure out how to do something DIY with what I have at my house, I would probably get online, start doing some searching. I would try to get, my family situated. I would just seclude myself, start taking a bunch of supplements. And what I would do is the first sign that I feel like something's going on with me, first thing I would do is go on a 72-hour water-only fast. And that there's nothing that I've seen in 25 years, and I've talked to thousands of doctors too, that can rebuild and regenerate your immune system faster than a 72-hour water-only fast. And if you want to do the research on that, look at USC, University of Southern California, water fast study. In 72 hours, the immune system regenerated, and not only regenerated, produced immune stem cells. Immune stem cells. So the only thing I would do that, and I would have to decide whether or not I was going to be using some supplements in conjunction with that as well. I might actually do a 72-hour water fast, but it might be a water supplement fast. In other words, I wouldn't be taking in any food. And the reason why I say that is one of my favorite immune supplements is iodine. There's nothing that's been able to live in the presence of iodine. And so I might, if I was doing a water-only fast, I might be doing high doses of vitamin D liquid, high doses of iodine, and doing some other things along with that. I don't know. I would have to make that decision if it happens. But I definitely would not be eating any food for 72 hours. The only thing I would be doing was just nothing but water and then the supplements that I'm talking about today. Iodine, in an emergency situation, however, I would be taking at least probably 50,000 to 100,000 micrograms of iodine a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but that would be of the detoxidine, the iodine that we create, that would probably be close to like 4 dropperfuls or more a day, like 2 dropperfuls in the morning and 2 dropperfuls in the afternoon. So iodine is just, to me, it's like if I had to pick the top 3 things that I would use in case of an emergency, iodine would be one of those top things. I'll have to think about definitely probiotics would be one of them too. Probiotics, iodine, and I'll have to think about the other one. We talked about vitamin D. Another thing that I have in my my immune strengthening guide that I have in, actually right here, is turmeric. Turmeric is very effective also at building and strengthening your immune system. Here's the detoxidine, the iodine. Here's the D3 right here, the Suntrex D3. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell you our products. You can get these at any, just don't buy your supplements at a drugstore or a grocery store, because those are synthetic vitamins. And synthetic vitamins can actually cause your immune system to go down instead of up. But turmeric's been used to support the actions of T cells. So your immune system, you have T cells, you have B cells, you have natural killer cells. Just think of your immune system as a big army, right? And your army is mobilizing this unit over here and this unit over here. So depending on what you're dealing with in your system already, do you want 80% of your immune system to be mobilized to your gut to work on digestion and allergens? Or like, how do you want your immune system to be mobilized? Turmeric works really well because it helps build the new soldiers of your immune system. And it keeps that going. So I have turmeric, and in an emergency situation, I'd probably be taking about 2 dropperfuls of turmeric every couple of hours. One of the other things that one of my favorite immune modulators is selenium. I would recommend typing in selenium and viruses in Google. That's about all I'm going to be able to say. You'll see for yourself how effective selenium is, not only boosting your immune system, but also protecting your body from harmful organisms. You don't really, in my experience, I would probably not go over 600 micrograms a day. However, I have talked to some doctors out there that are recommending going up to 1,000 micrograms a day. Personally, I would probably do 200 micrograms in the morning, 200 micrograms in the afternoon, and 200 micrograms in the evening. Now, you don't want to take selenium at the same exact time that you take your iodine. You want to at least about an hour apart. Okay? So selenium is one of the things that I have as well. Another thing that we briefly talked about colloidal silver. We don't actually sell that, but I would try to stock up on that as much as you possibly can. A DIY method to make some silver. If you have a pure 9999 silver coin, silver bar, I'm not talking about silver jewelry because that has other metals in it. But if you have pure silver coin, you can actually soak that silver coin in. Well, you can actually buy online colloidal silver generators. If you can get one, that's even better. If you don't have the ability to do that, and you have to do something, and you have a silver coin, you can get some hydrogen peroxide and soak the silver coin in a couple ounces of hydrogen peroxide for about 24 hours, and then add those 2 ounces to 32 ounces of water. So you actually mix the hydrogen peroxide liquid. So if you have 2 ounces with like a shot glass full of the hydrogen peroxide, and then you have the silver coin that goes inside of it for 24 hours, take the silver coin out, put the 2 ounces into 32 ounces of distilled water if you have it, or purified water. And then you can take a little capful or whatever of silver if you absolutely need it. That's just kind of a little DIY method. However, it'd be best if you were able to, because you don't know exactly how much silver is going to be in there. Of course, that would be in an emergency situation. Best case scenario is you're able to get some colloidal silver from somewhere. All right, DJ, you have another question over there?
Yes. Somebody was asking, Mike Smith asked, what kind of glasses are you wearing?
Oh, Mike, these are blue blocker glasses, actually. So these are Gunner glasses. I'll give them a shout out. So my eyes have always been sensitive. Like even when I was a little kid, I had to wear those thick glasses. And then I ended up getting radial keratotomy done on my eyes. I was one of the first cases. That was way before the lasers, where they actually took a scalpel and cut your eyeball. And I had that on both of mine. The amazing thing was I ended up seeing 20/20 ever since then. It was literally a miracle in my life. Because when I was in school, when I was a kid, that was back in the days where we used to get teased a lot for wearing glasses because all the glasses were those dorky glasses. And I popped the lens out and I would keep the lens in my pocket and I would put the lens like this to see the chalkboard. So for me, like one of the most amazing miracles in my life was being able to see 20/20 again without glasses. Now, I've also been studying the effects of the blue light on your eyes. And I'm in front of a computer screen a lot. Like I'm a researcher. I love being in the lab doing stuff, but I also am a research scientist. I mean, I spend tons of time in front of the computer. If you're in front of the computer and you're looking at your screen, you really need to, if you do that, it can ruin your eyes, cause headaches, all kinds of other symptoms. So these are the glasses that I get to protect my eyes against any of the negative side effects of the blue light. All right, so another thing I'd like to talk about now is enzymes. This is another one of my emergency kit products. And the reason why enzymes are so important is because all of the harmful organisms have a shell around them, some sort of a membrane around them. And when you use enzymes, you can help break down that protective membrane. Sometimes with different types of bacteria or viruses, it's hard for the immune system to actually recognize them and to fight them. So what I like to do is I like to take enzymes, a systemic and a digestive enzyme process. And that helps break down the film. It also helps break down the outside membrane. So it helps your immune system be able to attack those better. So enzymes is another thing that I have on my list. And let's see if there's anything I'm missing. I talked about keeping your intestines clean, oregano oil, enzymes, the iodine, the D, the turmeric, the selenium. Now, there's a lot of recommendations out there for high-dose vitamin C. And we don't sell a vitamin C, but I am a big fan of vitamin C. If you can, get as much vitamin C as possible. Usually, my protocol that I would do would be somewhere around, I would take around 3,000 milligrams at a time, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams at a time, and I would take up to about 25,000 milligrams a day, depending on how I felt. The reason you break it into doses or into different sections is because if you take too much C at once, it can cause diarrhea. There's a lot of people out there talking about vitamin C IVs. I'm all for that. If you can find a doctor that can, administer vitamin C IVs, great. If not, just keep some vitamin C at your house. Another thing you can do is you can get a bunch of lemons. You can stock up on lemons. Lemons are the only anionic fruit, and they're high in vitamin C. Very effective lemon water. Not only does that also work as a hand sanitizer or a counter sanitizer, but it also is a very powerful DIY, very cheap solution to help you fight off any type of harmful organism. So what you can do is you squeeze as much fresh lemon juice as you can handle into water and drink that down. Or you can do the same thing and use it as a sanitizer as well. And you'll get some vitamin C through the lemon. If you're in a situation where it's going to be hard for you to actually buy some vitamin C, then you can use the lemon juice as well. One other thing that I like is the chaga mushroom. That you're going to have to go buy somewhere, natural health food store. If you can take about 2 grams daily, that's what I have on my immune strengthening guide, is around 2 grams a day. You might be able to order it online yet. Like I said, I haven't checked to see all of this stuff, if it's available. It's just I felt the need to come on. I didn't even prepare for this video, except for the fact that I've already had all this information in my files for 25 years, and these are the things that I do. But you know, this is what we're here for. We're here to help everybody out in times of need, in times of stress. I mean, I'm going to be making myself available through this whole process to help everybody, and to bring back that confidence and that hope. And a lot of that has to do with the immune system and how healthy you are, you know. And a part of my my tips and tricks is just, it's so hard to reduce your stress levels. However, there's one other thing that I recommend and that I use, that I think this is free, and this is what you can do today. Go online and type in Wim Hof breathing method, WIMHOF. I think it's HOF or HOFF, one of the two, maybe HOF. Wim Hof breathing method is amazing to boost your immune system almost instantaneously. And not only that, it will calm you down. One session and you will be calm, from anxiety, if you're dealing with depression, any of that stuff. He even had tests done, and they injected him with harmful bacteria and organisms, and he was able to neutralize them all, because the Wim Hof method saturates your body. Someone was asking about an ozone treatment. You can almost get the exact same effects as one ozone treatment by doing one session of the Wim Hof breathing. Actually, Wim Hof breathing method by itself might actually, if you didn't have anything else, might actually save you. So that's very important. And sleeping is also very important. If I came down with some symptoms, like I said, I would lay in bed, I would take care of myself, let my body rest, try to sleep as much as I can, not eat anything, just do nothing but water and maybe some of these supplements until I got better. And I would be doing the Wim Hof breathing method at least once an hour. One time every hour I would do that. Let's see. Zinc is something else that most people are deficient in. So if you have some zinc, that would be great. And let's go ahead and that's. I don't have a lot of stuff on my list. That's pretty much everything on my list. Let's go ahead and go to one more question.
Yeah.
And I can answer that. DJ, you have another question?
Yes.
Somebody said ashwagandha. That's also good. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of different things out there. There are a lot of different doctors, N-acetylcysteine, glutathione. I mean, I just try to keep it as simple as possible and as strong as possible. And this is just what's worked for me. Maybe you have other things that have worked for you, but this is what I do. And this has never failed me before. Yes, somebody said Tulsi is really good for anxiety and panic attacks. That's good. I definitely agree with that. And there was a comment about the 5G. That's actually a really good comment, because there have been some studies out there that show that the 5G or the EMF, harmful EMFs, can affect viral replication. And not only that, bacterial and microorganisms. So very good point. Who said that? Thank you so much for bringing that up. Because, yes, make sure that if anyone is suffering, having any side effects, any symptoms, make sure that you limit, if not completely turn off, and put all your router in your house, your cell phones, your computers. You don't want any harmful electromagnetic radiation around you if you're sick. Definitely not. That 100% will reduce your immune system. Masaru Emoto proved that in his Messages from Water, when he analyzed water in front of a TV screen even, and it was completely broken. And we need your water needs to be in a crystalline structure to be in tip-top shape Tapping is also really good. Thank you, Idaho Cook. All of these suggestions that you guys are doing, I'm just telling you what you can do for the inside of your body, but the outside of your body, I mean, if you can get massages, you can take Epsom salt baths, you can take, anything that you can do outside. Chiropractic adjustments, if you have a good chiropractor you can go to, that's really important. Acupuncture, cupping, anything that you can do outside, rubbing oils and using essential oils on your skin. All that stuff is amazing. You should the more things you can do, the better. Let's see. Do you have any other questions for me?
Yeah, let's get this one question, then we can go and stop. Somebody's asking, is it possible to take too much vitamin C? How much is too much?
Yeah, good question. Is it possible to take too much vitamin C? Everybody has different sensitivity levels to vitamin C. That's what I've noticed over the years. You really have to. It's all individualized. So you can start with 1,000 milligrams. You can go up. Usually the number is around 3,000 milligrams that you can take. How most doctors do it is once you start getting loose stools or diarrhea, then that's that limit. You back down a little bit off of that. You can get if you can get the liposomal C out there, you get sodium ascorbate, potassium ascorbate. You can get plant-based vitamin C out there. I really like Mitchell Mays at the Pure Synergy Company. I like their C. It's a plant-based C, but with the plant-based Cs, it's kind of hard to get up to those type of high-dose levels. So anyway, any C would be better than no C, though. But you always want to try to go with the highest quality that you can get. So that's what somebody said about the selenium. Try to find a plant-based selenium. We have a plant-based selenium actually, which is very effective. That's going to be all for our show today. I know it's hard to say stay in a good, positive environment. Try not to let all these fear tactics get to you. Try not to, spend tons of time watching the news and all this stuff. Focus in on yourself. Focus in on your body. Try to stay as relaxed as possible. What gives me a lot of confidence is knowing that I already have every single thing I need in my house and inside my body. My own self-healing mechanism, which is stronger than anything else you're going to find. And your self-healing mechanism has the power to heal anything. As a matter of fact, studies have been shown that people have healed themselves with just their mind alone. There's documented evidence of instantaneous healings where people were in wheelchairs and all of a sudden got up and walked. So that's the power that we have. And I don't know what they're giving people at the hospitals or what the doctors are giving people. I've been asking, and I've heard, this says certain antivirals here and this slew of stuff over here. There's nothing that's been developed that will attack this specific virus. So your immune system is the best thing that you have in your system. So I'll be coming back on. Don't forget to download the free immune strengthening guide. And feel free to continue asking your questions. And until next time, just know we're here for you. I care about you. Live healthy. Live happy. Be strong. And trust yourself.